So there's our four phases, and they're profitable, guys. Every phase is profitable.
Bob, how are you doing today?
Pretty well, pretty well.
Last time you talked about fire and odor services. You talked about how it can be a profitable service to be added by a remediation restoration professional. We talked about four phases, we talked at length about phase one. Let's talk about 2, 3, and 4. Give us a quick overview, and then let's jump into phase 2.
Okay, so when you're deploying to a new fire assignment, you want to take certain equipment and supplies with you because of what we do on what we call day one. So the four phases are phases 1, 2, 3, and 4. Phase 1 is called day 1. Phase 2 is called demolition. Phase 3 is surfaces. Phase 4 is the volume airspace. So just a quick recap on the day 1. Everybody's upset. There's soot odor, there's soot tags, there's charred surfaces, likely. There's just a mess. And so on the first day, we attempt to not only thoroughly document everything for starters, photograph and lay out everything before we do anything. But then after that, we want to start improving the airspace. We want to protect the other parts of the structure. So we do things called corrosion control. We want to help the volume airspace. We want to remove a lot of surfacey soot, which we can with what we call the lamb's wool dusters. And then we set some equipment for the volume airspace. And we'll do a thermal fogging, and all of these things are detailed again in the book, the mitigation handbook, that we're, sharing about now. So the different features, we have 6 items that we think are very important to do on the first day, and they're very profitable. A first day effort can net you north of $15,000 on your bill if you do everything that I share, and you can set some equipment, and it runs for, say, 2 weeks.
Wow.
So very, very profitable.
That's a big day.
We went into detail on that last week, but so there's a quickie on phase 1. Okay, now, in between phase 1 and phase 2, pack out is occurring in the home. So that can be a few days to a couple of weeks or even more. When we come back, then phase 2 is called demolition. Now, many times some level of demolition is going to be required. It's possible, though, that if it was a flare-up on the kitchen stove and everything can be cleaned, then in that case, there may not be demolition. But the overwhelming majority of the time, something's going to have to be removed, be it cabinets, be it the drywall behind the stove, if that's what happened, be it part of the carpet or something in a bedroom if they, spilled over a candle and things burned. And so that's just it. We actually did a fire job one time, and it was a combination fire and methamphetamine damage. The person was making the stuff, and something got out of hand, and he torched his room, and so there it was. But most of the time, we're going to wind up doing.
So actually, you had to do illicit drug treatment as well as then fire and odor.
That's correct.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. Now, when it comes to demolition, the big question is, do I clean or do I demo? And we have some guidelines for that. So the 2 main considerations are heat intensity or the duration of the event. Okay, so for example, stovetop fire flares up, you're there making the food, you put the fire out right away. Was that high heat? No. Was it a long duration? No. Okay. We did an assignment one time where the people, this was in a farm, it was a 3-story home, very large, over 4,000 square feet. And they were cooking dog food. It's a farm, and so all of the things that you can throw into the pot, and they had it on the boil, and they left the home and they forgot about it, and they came back 8 hours later.
Oh my!
And there's this gray, acrid fog.
Yep.
Throughout. Okay, that's a long duration. Duration is where odor particles can get into materials and you can't get them out. If the duration is too long, what you don't want to do is to clean, and then over time, this odor comes back out of the materials because you couldn't access it to clean, but it did come back out into the airspace. And what you smell is in the airspace. You don't smell what's in the wall. When it comes out of the wall and it's floating around, that's where you smell it. Yeah, and a human hair is, in round numbers, 70 microns in diameter. Microns is a millionth of a meter, and it's a unit of measure for something really, really small. So 70 microns is a human hair. Okay, odor particles can be less than a micron. So they're uber teeny, but you can still detect them. So there has to be thinking going into, do I want to demo or do I want to clean? Now, the answer of just demo everything is a bad answer. That just shows lack of understanding. Not everything needs to be demoed. Some things do. Let me give you an example of high heat. So there's a fire. And was it really hot in the space that you're looking at? Do you want to clean it, or do you need to demo it? If you demo it, it's got to be put back together. So there's more cost to that. As a mitigator, you want to do more of your services cleaning. Cleaning pays better than demolition. So you want to know how to clean, and you got to have some A1 products to do that with.
That's a great point. So something that would maybe quickly be determined, you have to demo, and you lose out on an opportunity to apply services, and the homeowner loses too, because everything gets demolished and you have to start over. It's a win-win, right? They can clean up their area, and you get paid for that service, but you have to have the right products and processes to be able to do that well.
So in phase 2, you may have to use generators. Take pictures of them every day. They are profitable, and you may well wind up having to do duct cleaning. We always recommend duct cleaning of the entire home when there's a loss. That's a fire loss. Clean all the ducts. We actually use the Ram Air system.
Yep.
And we use it on everything: biohazard, interior mold, Cat 3, fire, odor. We use it for all of this stuff.
That's a whole separate episode. We could talk about the positive airflow approach and everything. That's really remarkable technology that they.
I do have a quick question though, Bob. In your particular team, at what point do your guys see something, open up a wall, and say, "I'm not really sure the structural integrity is still there. Let me bring in an engineer." Or do you call your adjuster and let the adjuster hire the engineer and say, "Yes, that's structurally sound"? You don't make that call about structural integrity. At what point does your team say, "Let's bring in somebody that's going to sign off on this"?
Yeah. So usually we will work with a builder as well.
Okay.
A person who does the reconstruction, and I will invite them out early in the process, and we'll look at things. And what and what we have done in the past is they have engineers they use.
Okay.
And they will just contact them, but we have to get it approved through the adjuster, of course. But that's how we would typically do it.
Okay. I just want to make people that are watching this understand
Sure.
you can only visually sign off and say, yeah, that's good. Well, that's not always the case. And somebody
That's
with
correct.
credentials has to sign off and transfer that liability to somebody else that has the credentials.
Copy that. Yeah.
So what are the 4 phases again? We have phase 1, which is day 1, which
Day
is
one,
which is what is that?
which is all the things that we did on the first day,
But-
which is in between when or
What do you call that? There's a term that you use for it. There's 4 phases. The first one is
day one. So
that's what you call it. You call it day 1. First one's day 1. Second one is demolition.
yes.
Okay, got it. And what's the
Yes.
third one?
Third one is surfaces,
Surfaces.
and fourth one is the volume airspace.
Got it.
So just to share about the garnet blasting really quickly here.
Okay.
In my opinion, if a mitigation company gets to where they're doing over $1 million a year, then they should get themselves a garnet blasting system. Ours cost us under $20,000. We paid for it the first time we used it.
Really?
We went to a 3-bedroom rambler. In some parts of the country, it's called a ranch house. It's just one level. And it was a catastrophic fire, and we had to remove all of the drywall, and we garnet blasted the entire roof, trusses, walls, and they also had a brick fireplace, which was just completely soot damaged, and just no way to clean this with any means other than like abrasive blasting. And we had that thing cleaned in no time, and all of the soot off of it. It looked brand new. I've got pictures of it in the book. We really recommend this for any fire job. Absolutely. So
Okay.
anyway,
Got it.
yeah, and then
It just-
and then floor protection as well. Those are all things that you can bill for, and it protects property, and it's legitimate and should be done. Clay?
Just a quick little anecdote or a visual. I think Bob and I went to the same demonstration with the IBEX machine. And just for people that don't know what garnet is or what this is, it's almost like a miniature sandblasting unit. And when the gentleman from the representative from IBEX was there, it was in the back of a warehouse, he had a business card in his hand with like a welder's glove to protect his hand. And he took this machine and he took the ink off of the business card, but the business card was still in place. He literally took the ink off of it. That's how fine detail the blasting is. So when you look at a char on a piece of porous 2x4 lumber, it'll just take the top 1/16 of an inch off or whatever it needs until you're seeing bare wood again. But took the ink off of the business
Wow.
card.
Holy cow.
We actually have a video of us using the garnet blaster. It's part of a fire video that we have. If you go onto YouTube, just look for Puro Clean Northwest. Go to our page, you'll find it.
Interesting.
You actually can use it for graffiti as well too. Kind of masonry surfaces.
Fantastic.
And we have a little short video of that as well too. Okay, so phase 2 is demo. Phase 2 is profitable. Now we are left with cleaning, disinfecting, deodorizing. So phase 3 is what we call surfaces. And Clay was our coach on this as well too when we were taking a biohazard course that he was a part of. And Clay taught us foaming and the types of foamers to use. And we've been using it ever since. We've got 4 of the foaming systems. In fact, I've got those 4 foamers. I got 3 other electric foamers. So we've got 7 systems to do foaming with. And what we do, so let's just say that I've got a wall that I want to clean. We will first degrease it. So we will foam it with warm water mixed with our degreaser. and we will use Ryobi battery operated scrubbers. They've got a telescopic arm to them, circular brush, and we will foam the walls, go over them with our brush, lots of agitation, and then using the microfiber mops and mop heads that we also get through Artemis, through clay, we will wipe all of that off, and then we'll do this again, only this time we are using the, what I call AB. It's the Chem Decon Parts A and Part B, available through licensing. You can't get this anywhere else. And we again do agitation and dwell time and some very effective chemistry, which cleans, disinfects, deodorizes, and it has an element of degreasing in it as well too. So it's just we buy other chemistry by the case. The things we get from Artemis, I buy it by the pallet, and I've done it multiple times. We just use this stuff to the teeth. And when I do the parts A and B, then I will leave that overnight.
Dwell time.
Yeah. So we'll foam it, we'll agitate it. We've got this, shaving cream all over the walls, how it looks, and then we'll just leave it.
Mm-hmm.
And overnight it starts to dry out, dissipate, and then we come back to a, kind of clean surface. And then we'll do a rinsing wipe down with vital oxide, which is a chlorine dioxide blend, very little surfactant to it. And we use the microfiber mops again. We get all this through Artemis, and all this is in the book. I mean, it's in the book. It's on the website. Where to buy it, click here, and it goes right to them. And just for people to know, I do speak about the book like a bit as we've been talking. I don't receive a dime from any people that I recommend, and that's intentional. I don't want to have any agreement with anybody that, look, I'll get 3% of everything you sell that I sent your way. I make my living doing mitigation work. I want to help other people to learn how to do it, and I want to send them to other suppliers and say that I sent you, and maybe you can get a discount. But I refuse. I just don't want to kind of muddy the waters with that.
Right. You're a trusted resource that recommends products and services that you have found to be helpful in your journey.
Yeah. And
remediation.
If the day comes when a product lets me down, then or I find something better comes down the road, I'm under no obligation to stick with anybody. I can refer anything. Now,
Bob, it sounds like the surfaces, then you have it's a bit of a sandwich. You have the clean, the degreaser at one end, you have the vital oxide at the other end, and then in the middle is the meat. That's the A and B. That's where the work is done.
Yep, and that's very fair to put it that way.
Is that fair to say? Do we have the meats? I think someone's already got that as a tagline.
Sometimes, yeah, right. Where's the beef? Yeah. Sometimes we will degrease twice. Sometimes we will AB twice.
Yeah.
So for example, and here's another odor deal: cigarette smoke damage.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody
that's tough, right? That's hard to get, right? That's cigarettes.
Well, it used to be tough, but it's not tough anymore. And I describe how to deal with it again in the book and where to get the chemistry on the website. This is profitable. Real estate people know that they can't sell a home when it has that type of an odor damage to it. Mm-hmm. So what do? You don't tear up the hardwood floors. You don't demo this thing down to the ground. You don't paint over it. The worst thing that anybody can do is paint over it. because paint is permeable. So you remember how I shared last week how these odor particles are less than a micron,
Right.
whereas the diameter of a human hair is 70 microns. I mean, these are small particles.
They'll go right
And
through the paint, won't they?
So you've got this damage on the wall. You put this barrier over it that I can't get to with my liquids, but the odor can come through that paint into the airspace, and that's what you smell.
Yeah.
You don't smell what's behind the wall. You smell what's in the air, and that particle comes out, and now you're stuck. So, but there's a great deal of odor control that is very practical and very profitable for us and for anybody.
So that's the third phase, right? That's surfaces.
Yeah, and where you want to make your money on this is we would recommend having a company called DocuSketch do the estimate for you because they capture everything. Cleaning light fixtures, cleaning this, cleaning that, cleaning cabinets, cleaning knobs, cleaning doors, cleaning inside and out, and they will cover and they'll list so many things per room that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. They don't miss anything. These guys are deadly, and I really recommend the DocuSketch system. I share how to get that on the website, themitigationhandbook.com. Go to recommended suppliers. There's people there you can call, and it's all laid out for you.
Good.
So that's our third phase. And then our fourth phase really goes fast. Okay. This is airspace. So this is fogging, misting materials on, wet fogging produces particles in the 10 to 40 micron size. So we actually use a citric acid. It's Contact citric acid.
Sure. Yeah, we sell that as well. Yep.
Yes. I get it through Artemis. I get lots of stuff through Artemis. It's an odor neutralizer and a disinfectant. So when we're all done with all the walls and everything, then we like to go through with a very thorough wet fog. Saturate might be too strong of a word, but thoroughly fog such that it's on the surfaces as well, and it's going to penetrate, but it's also in the volume airspace. We are disinfecting the airspace because when we leave, people are now coming back in.
Yeah.
So we want it to be cleaned and disinfected and deodorized. Yeah. And then the last thing so we will do that on a day, and then we'll let it sit, and then the following day we'll come in and do another thermal fogging. Now, here's where you might get some pushback. Okay. The first time we did thermal fogging, it was for encapsulating odor particles and improving the quality of the volume airspace. The second time we're doing it, it's to get into crevices.
Okay.
Because so there's two differences. And I explain this, and sometimes I don't get both of them. I get one or the other. You know what? It took me 20 minutes to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It pays $1,700. I can risk it. If I get it, great. If I don't, it isn't like I invested a ton, but it's valuable because, again, it gets into the crevices and it gets into areas, we'll go under the sinks. We'll go, open up the drawers of the vanities, just all of these things that maybe only got a wipe, because of where they're at. But now I can really douse it well.
Yeah.
With a good dose of a finely divided particle size in the thermal fogger. And we like to do that. And Another reason why you want to use DocuSketch, any fire job you're going to, any fire job, you want to clean the ducts, and you also want to do a layout of the entire structure, garage included if it's attached, because you may not be cleaning, you may not be demoing because the room is on the other side of the house, but we're still going to, at the very least, we're going to thermal fog it. I might not even wet fog if it looks like, it was so far away, nothing happened, but I'm still going to thermal fog. And I'm going to thermal fog the whole house at the end. Yeah. And I don't kill it with it, I just want it to waft through.
Mm-hmm. Just a final touch, a last little piece, just to complete the whole project.
Yeah, cabinets, vanities under the sink. Okay, I will hit those good. Yep. But just like like in a bedroom or something where there's no contents, I just want to give it a good swish through, and that'll be the last thing we do virtually. Vacuum up, clean up, pack up, head out.
You're done.
So there's our 4 phases, and they're profitable, guys. Every phase is profitable.
So you really have to up your game. If you want to make money, the money's there. You got to get the training, you got to get the products, you got to get the processes, you have to show the documentation. You have to up your game.
Right.
And if you do, you can become a profitable franchise to conduct these services.
I've often said it before. If I can only do fire jobs, that would be great. If I only did blood biohazard jobs, that would be great. If I only did illicit drug cleanup, that would be great. Those pay very well. It takes skill, it takes understanding, it takes proper processes, equipment, systems, but they pay very well. Line items are higher. Line items for hazardous materials, which includes mold, are higher than just general cleaning line items. And trauma line items are even more profitable. Trauma codes.
That's a topic we can talk about another time. That's a whole another space that we do a lot of work in that area, and I know you do and use our stuff. So I really appreciate that. Yeah,
we do, and we face them all, and I've coached people too, people that have been through the Artemis training course for microbial warrior or high risk, high level decontamination specialist. If they've been through those courses, then I can coach them more. I can help them.
Right. I can have some foundational understanding. Yeah.
Yes. Well, and certainly for safety. You just can't approach these kind of jobs casual. When I was doing fentanyl testing only, just testing, I was wearing the Max Air headgear. I was wearing the special sealed seam PPE, special booties, tape gloves. You just don't fool with this stuff.
Yeah.
And you just can't be casual about it. You just can't wander in and start doing stuff. You've got to understand what's going on. And Clay's courses teach that.
Well, Bob, thank you. We appreciate you giving us a full explanation of the way your franchise can become profitable in this space. It's an exciting space. Clay, any final thoughts from you?
No, I thought the subject matter was very well covered by Bob. I really appreciate your time, Bob. Very detailed, very detailed.
Well, thanks, Clay. And I'll be talking to you sooner than later because I call you from time to time whenever I got a question on something and need some advice.
Anytime.
Appreciate it.
And people can call you, Bob, right? If anybody wants to know more about how to get started, want to know more about the mitigation handbook, or have questions about your operation, you're offering yourself as a mentor, or at least provide some guidance to somebody who wants to get started, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Great.
We sure do.
Super. Well, thank you, Bob. Thank you for your time. Best of luck out
You're
there,
welcome.
and we'll see you soon.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.